You're probably wondering what you should do this offseason. And to be fair, most hockey players and goalies struggle to figure out what they want to do this offseason or any offseason because there's just so much disinformation out there or too much information that leads to confusion. So I'm Dr. James Phillips, doctor of physical therapy, former professional hockey player, and I like to help athletes, specifically hockey players, on the ice, off the ice, in rehab, training, and goalie coaching. So I'm putting together this series where there's like 30 tips in 30 days. So they're going to be on YouTube, usually after the fact. But if you want to get them right away, subscribe to the newsletter down below. That's where I'm going to drop them. They're going to be video and typed formats. But basically, the whole purpose is for me to help as many hockey players and their families and their parents kind of weed through a lot of the nonsense, the BS out there, and just kind of come up with a solution that works for them and works for everyone. And this is both training, nutrition, rehab, career kind of advice, what to look for, what to look out for. So you know what, just subscribe, you won't regret it. Talking about training, let's think about high intensity interval training specifically. So HIIT training, or high intensity interval training, is kind of any sort of broad definition where you are working hard for, let's just say, short bursts with rest, HIIT has taken many forms over the past several years, CrossFit probably being under that umbrella. F45 is there, things like Orange Theory, stuff like that, more like branded things. But HIIT has been around for a long time. It's just describing basically going all out and then resting, and then going all out and resting. And if you're a hockey player, you're probably wondering, okay, should I do HIIT? Like, how much HIIT should I do? I see people doing these workouts online. Should I do these? Should I do that? Well, let's talk about HIIT. And is it something that you can do, should do, and is it worth it to add it to your training? It's important to know that not all HIIT is created equal. Now, if you're going to, let's just say you're going to a brand, let's say Orange Theory, and that's going to be different than, say, CrossFit or High Rocks, or doing something that's programmed in your training. And in fact, depending on someone's definition, if you look at some of the things that I put in my programs, where I like to use the assault bike as one of the primary drivers of conditioning, especially for anaerobic burst conditioning, you know, that could be considered HIIT as well. Anything where there's just that burst of training followed by a period of rest and repeat. One of the reasons why I love HIIT training for hockey players is it builds game-like conditioning. Think about if you are a player, you hop off the boards, you have your 30, 45-second shifts, although I have seen some of you take 2-minute shifts. I don't want to hear it. So you take your shifts, you get off, you rest, you know, hopefully you're getting double shifted, wink, wink. But if not, you may be resting for about a minute or two or less, then you hop on, you do it again for an entire 45 or 60 minutes, depending on what level you play. So a training with a similar format really helps improve the body's recovery and your threshold, or your ability to produce force and sustain that force similar to as you would in a game. So that is pretty realistic. When I said improves force, we're also looking about things like VO2 max, which is the volume of oxygen you can bring in. Off the top of my head, I can't remember the formula, but it's the amount of oxygen that you can bring in during a period of time. I think it's measured in liters. Also, if you're looking at lactic threshold, if we think about that burning in our legs, the lactic acid, we'll talk about that in a later video, but we think about the lactic acid buildup, our ability to basically basically to extend how long we get that burning where we have to stop. That's lactate threshold training, and HIIT can help improve that. HIIT training is also pretty time efficient, right? If you only have 30 minutes to fit in a workout, then boom, you can get a really effective, really demanding workout in only 30 minutes. This one, I hesitated to include but it popped in my brain, mental toughness. Typically, when we're looking at strength training and mental toughness, there is a little bit of overlap, but if you're able to, you know, push through the point of burn, go into the pain cave, there is a lot of value to that, because when you go and you're playing in a game and it's the 4th or 5th overtime, well, if you can push through and get around the grind or how heavy your legs feel, that's going to help. Oh, and I also forgot to mention, if you're a goalie, think about it. If you are killing a penalty, you're going to have, the play is going to be in zone. It's going to be intense. Hopefully you get defensive clear. You get to catch your breath for 10, 15, 20 seconds, and it's a regroup. And so again, this benefits goalies as well. And we're going to talk about goalie training, hockey training, and how everyone says they're different when they're really not. But again, save that for a video. 30 videos, 30 days. I got to keep the ideas flowing. Let's talk about the downsides. Well, the downsides is sometimes people will condition only HIIT. And one, don't do that. If you're only following a HIIT program, please stop. We really need our athletes, especially our young athletes, but all athletes, to focus on building strength bases, building explosive strength, plyometrics, speed, all that stuff. It can't just be HIIT, just like it can't just all be strength work. Another thing too is recovery. HIIT is very energy expensive. It's very taxing on your nervous system. If you aren't recovering and you're only doing HIIT, this can lead to overtraining. However, most things can lead to overtraining if you don't recover well. One thing too that I'm going to put as a downside of HIIT training, especially at a lot of these brand name or the CrossFits, the F45s, High Rocks itself, is there is a lot of value in doing these things. But remember, if they're just doing them all willy-nilly and throwing things just at a whiteboard and seeing what sticks, it's not part of a tailored program. And ideally, you want to have a tailored program that focuses on proper exercise progression, following known training principles, not just doing things randomly. Oh, that was a lot of work for that shot. So to summarize, if you're going to use it, and you should use it, it should be part of your program, make sure that it's at the right time, the right duration. And everything is tailored specifically so that you are actually getting better and you're getting benefits. You're not just exercising for the sake of exercising. When you retire, like me, you can exercise for the sake of exercising. You're trying to stay healthy. If you're a competitive athlete, you're trying to push the pace. You're trying to improve all your physical attributes. So if you have any questions or you're interested in following a program, we'll be releasing the summer training program very soon, but only to athletes that are in the email list below. It just helps me send out newsletters and email blasts where you're probably reading this. If you're not, go read it. I send out things very frequently, and it's usually just things that are on top of my mind that can help athletes. If you like this video, click on whatever's here or here. I haven't figured out where YouTube put things, but all I know is their algorithm is very good. And whatever one it's recommending is probably one that you're going to enjoy watching.